Hello! This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. No jokes, just facts.
Facts for
We're
your
only
health.
going to be serious on the podcast today, actually.
We've decided that this is no longer a comedy podcast. It's just an anime podcast, and even that's on thin ice.
Our reviews are objective.
Yeah.
And facts don't care about your feelings.
All right.
This is something.
Yeah.
This is an interesting energy we're bringing.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Blackle, and I am a sleepy person. I'm always sleepy. That is just how I am. And
sleeping.
That's just how it is for me.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I relate to being sleepy. Anyhow, hi, I'm Joey. Let's see. This week I did watch a small trickling, I would say, of anime. We watched I think one more episode of Mob Psycho season 2, and we also watched a couple more episodes of JJK. So, a gentle stream of really good shows, but sometimes that's what you like. Sometimes that's what you get.
We watched that one where Jogo just fucking lights all those people in the cafe on fire for no reason.
Yeah, he does that.
And then,
villain established.
Yeah.
So, I other than that, I haven't really watched anything. Although I keep meaning to. But
yeah.
Louis, you got anything?
No. Hi guys, it's me, Louis again. I'm still here. Help.
We won't let him leave.
They won't let me leave. It's illegal. Help. Anything to add? No, not really. Just Jujutsu Kaisen's good, and you guys are in for a treat in the next couple episodes.
You got something in store? Some devious plans?
Yes, me personally, because I created Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, cool.
I'm remembering these episodes, and yes, they're good episodes. there are funny jokes and interesting fights in them.
All right.
I prescribed Jujutsu Kaisen to every listener.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, let's get into the news here. We got some pretty basic news, which is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 is coming back in September with presumably the other half, unless they're going to go over.
It might be
episodes.
It might be like a 3, like.
You think they might do 3?
I think they might do 3 chunks. But that's just a guess, because I personally don't feel like they're at the halfway point yet. But I could be wrong. I could be misremembering.
I should probably watch the first part before that comes out.
Yep.
But
yeah, I'm right there with you.
I got an anime podcast, but I'm too busy playing video games to watch anime.
Yeah.
When I'm not playing video games, I'm doing work for hire, so...
Yeah. Busy.
I don't even read my fucking library books.
I know.
The next bit of news, because there wasn't a lot of news, but y'all see that Dragon Stampede trailer?
Yes.
I think you
showed it to us.
I showed it to you. It seems cool. His hair doesn't go up.
His hair is wrong,
just about to say, I think people are upset about his hair.
His hair doesn't go up.
I'm going to forgive it because everything else looks really fun and cool, and I'm excited.
His design is very interesting because it's a radical interpretation of Vash's like traditional outfit, but it does fit. It
fits.
My only criticism as like a reimagining of this character design is that the red of his coat is wrong. But other than that,
yeah,
because it's a little cooler than the fire engine red it used to be.
It's supposed to be carnation red, I believe.
And his like it's pretty interesting. I like his new like prosthetic arm. It's a neat design and stuff
It's
like
cool
that.
stuff.
I don't know if I like his new gun as much as the old gun, but I don't know. It's a revolver.
I don't remember noticing.
Is it a trigun?
No,
No, specifically not.
Specifically not. He does not have the trigun. That is the trigun. But I don't know. It looked pretty interesting. It's got the people attached to it are interesting too, because you just be like, oh, it's going to be directed by Kenji Muto, whose main credit is he directed an episode of Land of the Lustrous, but then it's made by fucking Orange, who make good shows in 3D. And it's got a bunch of pretty solid voice talent attached to it. It's like
I'm excited. I'm letting myself be excited.
Can I ask an ignorant anime question?
Sure.
Yeah.
This isn't the same company that did the 3D Berserk anime, right?
I do not think Orange was attached to 3D Berserk. They are attached to Beastars.
Okay.
And I believe they are also attached to Land of the Lustrous, which looks really nice. A little barren in places. I feel like they didn't have as much money to work with, so there's not a lot of background in that show. But all of the character action looks quite good. And the animation in this is quite good, even if you find any of the designs to be questionable. He does a close range dodge in the trailer that is very cool.
It's really incredible.
It's like if Neo did the Neo thing, but at a range of like 2 inches. So yeah, we're gonna say cautiously optimistic on this one.
Yes.
Might be pretty cool.
Whatever it's gonna be, I'm just excited to see my faves again. That's all.
I believe the joke we made at the time was they're gonna make Wolfwood's hair go up instead.
Yeah. Do it, cowards.
He's gonna look like Spike Spiegel stuck in a wind tunnel. That's what it's gonna be. But anyway, that's the news for now. Because, like I said, there wasn't as much as I would have liked. Well, there was some stuff about Macross, which is basically, if you ever wanted Macross on DVD in America, that can exist now. Apparently, they worked out a bunch of the legal issues that were preventing it. I don't even want to go into it because the legal issues of Macross and BattleTech are a fucking nightmare. But I suppose that's newsworthy. But anyway, let's get into a show. So I thought, in light of last time, I thought we would watch something good.
Fair enough.
Sometimes we're allowed to have a treat.
Yeah.
So I thought that we would watch Violet Evergarden.
I've heard of this one.
Which I've heard is quite good.
I'm excited.
All right.
So maybe we'll actually get to like it.
Maybe we'll see.
It seems to be popular among sad trans girls, so I'm very interested.
All right.
So they asked me if I had a lead-in joke, but I don't want to be funny. It's so sad.
Can I offer the possibly unfunny lead-in that I was considering?
I mean, you can try.
My joke was, I thoroughly enjoyed Full Metal Alchemist Sisterhood.
That's pretty good. All right.
No, sorry.
Who wants
I didn't mean to
blurb?
interrupt you.
Louis, you're reading the blurb.
Oh no!
It looks like Louis reading the blurb.
Can Louis not read the blurb?
if he's a coward.
He's a little bit of a coward.
All right then. Who else wants the blurb?
All right, I'll do it.
Coward.
The Great War finally came to an end after 4 long years of conflict. Fractured in two, the continent of Telesis slowly began to flourish once again. Caught up in the bloodshed was Violet Evergarden, a young girl raised for the sole purpose of decimating enemy lines. Hospitalized and maimed in a bloody skirmish during the war's final leg, she was left with only words from the person she held dearest, but with no understanding of their meaning. Recovering from her wounds, Violet starts a new life working at CH Postal Services after a falling out with her new intended guardian family. There she witnesses, by pure chance, the work of an auto-memory doll.
Amanuensis
that transcribe people's thoughts and feelings into words on paper. Moved by the notion, Violet begins work as an auto-memory doll, a trade that will take her on an adventure, one that will reshape the lives of her clients and hopefully lead to self-discovery.
Even I got it wrong because it's actually like amanuensis.
They said the subtitle said ghostwriter. What, I don't know why we couldn't just say ghostwriter here.
It is a word, but it's a fucking archaic Victorian word.
It's a word that no one has ever heard in their life.
I have heard it exactly like once, and I heard it in the process of playing the fucking browser game Fallen London. So that's where.
Oh my god, yes.
Well,
throwback that still exists.
Doesn't make it a
I don't
fake
think
word.
I've touched it since like 2012.
But I actually spend a lot more time playing the proper video game version, Sunless Sea. But so yeah, let's get into a rundown. I guess it's going to be a little difficult to do the rundown because it's a very moody, atmospheric one with not that much dialogue. But and we're going to talk.
Be a semi-short rundown, I think.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I'm excited to talk about it. But anyway,
ready for trauma.
We open on two people walking through a night market. A man and a young girl. There's a relatively large crowd, and the girl falls behind for a moment, and the man stops and says, "What is it?" And she says, she's looking at a brooch with a large emerald in it, and she says,
"Oh yeah,"
and she says, "It's the same color as your eyes."
The color of your eyes.
What is the name of this feeling? And then I can't even remember the connective tissue. But it cuts, and we come in on the same girl, whose name is Violet for everyone. In a hospital, and not even like a field, not in a field hospital, because they were in military uniforms. She's in a convalescent
nice
hospital.
Countryside.
She's in a Victorian convalescence hospital, a Victorian,
in the country. Physical rehab zone.
And
they send you by the sea to recover.
And she is she is attempting to write a letter. Because she has apparently been there for 120 days, convalescing from her injuries, and
her body is covered in bandages.
She's having great difficulty with the pen, which she drops on the floor, and unfortunately, when she goes to retrieve it, the wind takes her letter. Was asking urgently a character named Major Gilbert. When she could resume her posting. Are we introduced to Hodgson's then? Is that when it comes in? There's a chronology problem with this show.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Just said this is a child, right?
Violet is certainly like a young woman.
Yeah.
She looks like she can't be more than a teenager.
I assumed she's like maybe like in the 13 to 15. This is why I made the Full Metal Alchemist comparison.
Right.
Like she's probably around the same age as Edward. She's a blonde-haired girl.
I kind of imagined I kind of imagined like 17. That's what I felt.
I
Because
guess
she carries herself like an adult. But
Yeah.
fair
anyway.
enough.
I thought you meant the android from Dragon Ball for a second.
Yeah. There's parallels. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, is this when Hodges comes in? There's a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards.
Well, also, like, the camera will just pan into the scenery sometimes. Like, it followed that letter for a really long time, and then
yeah, it did drop down on him outside of the hospital. So we were introduced to Hodgins, who used to be a lieutenant colonel.
Yes.
He is a tall, red-headed man coming into the hospital, presumably to see Violet. And on his way inside, he enters the lobby because this is obviously used to be someone's home. That's the kind of hospital it is, because that's how hospitals used to be actually. But and in like a parlor to his left, there's a china doll on a table. And this man is introduced with fucking hallucinations about 30 seconds after he walks into the scene, because he sees blood running down its arm, and then he just flashes back to seeing Violet with blood running down her arm.
This show really doesn't stray away from war is horrible and will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Like I said, we got a lot to talk about there, so I'm going to leave it towards the end.
Yes.
So after being shaken out of it by the convalescence nurse, he says, "Oh, okay, yes." They go to see Violet, and they hear a loud thunk. It's the sound of her hitting the floor trying to get the pen.
Yeah, she accidentally fell out of bed.
And they go, "Oh shit, are you okay? Oh God, stand up. Are you okay?" And she sees him, and she says, "Where's the major?" And he says, he sent me here to see you. Here, stand up, sit down on the bed." And then she snaps into a salute because she remembers that he was a lieutenant colonel. He's just like, no, you don't need to. You don't need to do that. And he's just like, he slowly tries to extricate her from this hospital because he has her discharge papers.
But all she will ever constantly say is, "So what's my next assignment?
So
when am I going back out?
When is my next posting? When can I rejoin the major?" To the point where he has to put his hands in his pockets because presumably to hide the fact that he is clenching them as hard as he can.
Like, you get the idea pretty much instantly. Like, the major didn't make it. Like,
no, he's definitely dead.
So he says, "They says it's the major's orders that I take you from this place." And they get her ready, and they go downstairs, and the convalescence nurse gives her belongings that were apparently sent to by mistake to just a random military base.
Yeah.
Her belongings are meager at best. And unfortunately do not contain the emerald brooch that apparently is her most valued possession, because she immediately freaks out and says, "I have to go look for it. I have to go right now."
She's
and
like, just gonna run down the street and do
I'm
this.
I'm just going to pick a direction and go.
Yeah, like I'm gonna pick up my big oversized magnifying glass and start snooping around.
And Hodgkin stops her forcefully, and he's just like, "Hey, you can't." And she just says, "It was a gift from him," and he says, "Oh, okay, I will look for it, but you have to come with me."
Yep.
So he gets her into a car.
Yep.
We should remark on this because it's probably not very apparent from our description, but the war that has taken place appears to have been World War I adjacent. There are cars. There's rifles, machine guns, and such, but it doesn't look like World War II tech. So the car he's driving looks like Model T adjacent, maybe a little more advanced.
Yeah.
It's like a car from the 20s, actually.
Mhm.
And that's the general vibe of all of this. So it's in that weird interstitial period between the 40s and the like Edwardian period where it was, very stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maid outfits are still a thing. Let's put it that way. There's your date.
That
Uh-huh.
that
Although-
fucking like nurse outfit, like it's so hard to find anything like that anywhere, and I'm upset.
You can't. You're mad that you can't get a Victorian convalescence nurse outfit.
Blackle's like,
I'm
how am I
very
gonna
sad.
cosplay this?
It's not even just cosplay; it's daily wear.
It's daily wear.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna judge. There's some idiot out there who dresses like a Regency dandy. I mean, wear whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, you mean the
Although-
guy who thought Lambda was alive?
I don't know. That guy. I feel like that guy has to spend like $8,000 on clothing every month. But
Yeah.
but anyway, where were we? We were in the car. In the back of the car, they're driving through some just beautiful European countryside. And Hodgkins is explaining it's going to be a long trip because most of the rail lines were destroyed in the bombing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's basically desperately trying to distract her from it. It's just because she is always asking about when she can return to her posting with the major. And he's just like, listen, I didn't know what kind of stuffed animal you wanted for your congratulations for getting out of the hospital. So here's 3. And she's like, I don't need that. And he's just like,
pick one or
you
the
have to
universe
pick
will
one.
explode.
Pick one or the world will end.
It's just like, I'll take the puppy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, God, I got to take one. And then she's like, why'd you pick the puppy? And it's just like, they always call me the major's dog. And he's just like, oh, God. Oh,
I literally, in my
God.
notes, I wrote, girl? Hello?
This poor motherfucker.
Oh no.
So yeah, they get into they get on a boat. They get to a port and they get on a boat. And they talk about going to the capital and stuff and how she's never been there. And they finally arrive. They arrive in the capital at the home of the Evergardens, which Gilbert has asked Hodgkins to deliver Violet to, so that they can take charge of her. And it doesn't go well.
No.
Mhm.
Yeah, she kind of just awkwards out on them, and
The woman who's going to take her in is presumably a semi close relative of the major named Tiffany Evergarden. And she's a very nice old rich lady, basically.
yeah, she's just a little old lady.
And they're having tea and such, and she's like, "Oh, have some tea." And Violet can't lift the glass and spills the tea everywhere. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have forced you to drink tea. Like we have to we have to get this off of you. It'll burn you." And she's like,
Your
"Oh,
bandages.
I don't feel heat." And she's just like, well, you have to clean your bandages. And she just takes them off, and her hands are just fully metal.
She has
Yeah.
auto mail.
She has
an
automail. They are. She says they're made out of adamant silver, and she hasn't gotten used to them yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to the old woman's credit, she keeps a completely stone face at this,
Yep.
and she's just like, "Come with me," and she gives her a pair of gloves.
Yeah.
Presumably that will make handling like tea and shit easier.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
takes it in stride. Good for her.
Because my initial thought was just like, oh, she wants to recover her gross skeleton hands. And I was just like, no, actually, she needs these fucking buckskin gloves to like exist
Mhm.
in spaces designed for humans, because she won't be able to grasp anything with her metal fingers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So very superior adoptive grandma here.
Uh-huh.
Very
Yeah.
nice old woman. She's trying to tell her that she's like, I lost a son in the war, and Violet isn't having it
Mm-hmm.
because she does not want to be separated from the major. She's like, I cannot replace your son and
Yeah.
shit like that, which is a vicious thing to say to an old woman who lost her son in the war. And
Your
Hodgkins
son's never coming back.
is trying to creep out during this scene. He's just like, well, time for me to go. It's your problem now. Goodbye. And he almost gets away before she chases him down to basically demand he explain himself. Because she says, if there's no more use for me, just throw me away.
Yeah.
And he's just like, she's like, where is my next posting? He's just like, the war is over. There isn't a war anymore. And she freaks out.
Yeah.
So the next scene is that she's gone with Hodgins on the streetcar because he can't abandon her. He can't leave her in the house because she won't stay.
No.
So he takes her to his office because he's started a postal company. He bought out an old house and started a postal company because apparently the government postal service doesn't serve civilians. Yeah. And most civilians don't know how to write.
But they want to do letters.
But they want to communicate. And they presumably are not allowed to access the fucking telegraphs. So, so he's just like, all right, fine. Gilbert left you in my care, so I'm going to give you the orders now, and you can work here.
Yeah.
Because she needs something to do.
She needs to be, like, at this point, she essentially needs to be told to do like everything, like to the extent that, like, later on he will tell her it's okay to eat, like.
Like
this is fucking prison behavior.
Yes.
But this is the thing from the Shawshank Redemption where he has to tell Morgan Freeman that he doesn't need permission to piss.
Right.
But yeah, he's just like, okay, I've got a friend who's a postman here. You teach her everything she needs to know. And she's like, she's just a kid, and I'm just like, look at her.
Yeah, come on now.
She has the gravitas of like a fucking elder statesman giving a eulogy. This is not just a kid.
Yeah.
She's just like, no, teach her the thing. It's just like, okay. So he teaches her the entire like letter sorting department. He's just like, all right, take these, take this pile of mail, put it in the correct boxes so that whenever it goes out for delivery, it'll be nice and tidy. There won't be any hiccups. And he's just like, I'm going to go out for a second.
Yep.
And he goes out for a second. And by the time he has returned, she is finished because she has worked at it for 6 hours with no break.
Yeah, she just kind of didn't stop. And she's like, I'm used to long hours.
And he's just like, oh, God. Okay, like, well, it's sundown. Do you want to try delivering the mail next? And she's just like, yeah. And he's just like, okay, well, I'm going to go home now. So he goes home. And we cut back to Hodgkins on a tram going, and he's just like, ah, geez. I guess some delivery companies do deliveries at night now. We can't handle that. And he sees that it's his fucking logo on the side of the car.
It's Violet.
He's just like, I gotta get the fuck out of this train. What the hell are you doing?
They explained to her, hey, I didn't mean for you to do it right now. I meant to do it tomorrow.
We were going to do this tomorrow. And they try and they sit down and have dinner. In a scene in which he tells Violet to eat.
Yep.
And he kicks the shit out of his friend who's being rude. Violet doesn't eat, by the way. I think she spends the entire meal sawing a fried fish in half.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's not that interested.
She runs on nuclear power and gum, apparently.
Anyway, he says, "All right, you can sleep in the attic because I don't think I can leave you with the Evergarden."
Yeah.
Even though they technically have your guardianship until you're an adult. So yeah, he leaves her there, and she has a barren Kiki's Delivery Service attic room, with just a
Yeah.
sad pup plushie lying under a window, just on the
Yeah,
floor.
it's just kind of plopped down.
And the next morning, she's already up and she's cleaning the windows in the front of the place, presumably because no one is there to tell her what to do. She's just trying to figure out what to do. And a man comes in and he asks, "Hey." Well, first of all, he has an entirely realistic problem of it's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you and you won't come down from there because she's like standing on a chair cleaning the windows, and any normal person would get down and face you and say, "All right, what do you want?"
Yeah.
But Violet just do.
Yeah.
So she's cleaning the
got a
windows.
task. She's got to finish it.
And he says, I can I get a letter written? I don't know how to write. And she's just like, oh, well, what would you like written? And he's like, do we have to talk about this here? She's like, why not? He's just like, all right, my childhood friend in the country received a marriage proposal from another man, and I want to tell her how I feel. And in a very slick transition, we get to a typewriter and a pair of hands typing out his letter for him. And very eloquently summarizing his feelings, signed at the end with "Eisteru," signed with an "I love you." And we zoom out, and it's not Violet. Violet's there. It's the professional letter writer who works for the company, the auto memory doll, which
That's a strange thing to call them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? At least it's not. It's not amanuensis.
But it is though.
She is also like dolled up, like.
Oh yeah, no, she slays.
Yeah.
Like she makes enough money in her job to job writing letters for literate people to dress just
She's
to the nines.
Killing it.
She's clearly aware of it, but yeah, after go ahead.
Doesn't she basically go like, "Who the fuck are you?" to Violet?
Yeah. She turns around after she finishes this guy's letter and tells him where to file it and everything, and she's just like, "And you?" Because nobody in that department knows who the hell Violet is.
She's just the girl that was like working upstairs yesterday, sorting mail.
And Violet says, "How did you know? How did you know he wanted to say that?
Oh, God.
How do you know what that means?" And the next scene is her talking to Hodgkins in his office and asking, I want to be a part of this program. And he says, well, wait, why do you want to do that? And he's just like, I want to know what the words I love you mean. Because it is the last thing that the major said to me.
Oh my God.
It's like this shit, man.
And you can see Hodgins just fucking die on the other side of the door.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So sad.
And the last scenes of the show are actually kind of a series of flashbacks to her and the major in the Great War.
I just want to say the flashbacks do look like you could just very effortlessly put a Blink 182 song over it and then it'd be an
AMV shit.
Yeah, it would be.
I was about to, because I was watching that and I was about to say, like in my review, I was going to say that there are no action scenes in this, but there are some.
Yeah. Where she's running through the battle and
she's gone over the top, as they used to say, and she's whooping the shit out of all comers.
She's freaking on them.
But yeah, that's pretty much the end. And presumably, she's gonna go on and write letters for people. But yeah, that's it. I have to express how incalculably fucking sad this show is.
We didn't include the like last scene where you actually see him saying goodbye to her, or "I love you."
Yeah, like he is bleeding out on some stairs, and she has been so injured that one of her arms has fallen off.
Her arm has fallen off, and she's trying to drag him away with her teeth
up the stairs with her teeth, and he just says, "Fucking stop it!"
Yeah, he's like, you have to go on, you have to live.
You have to run. You have to run and live and be free.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one's gonna be a tearjerker, y'all.
Oh yeah,
I'm fucked up about this.
I know.
What caused you to pick this?
Look, I heard about it from Julia Drawfee on a Drawfee episode in which she draws Violet, and that is the same episode in which everybody else. It's a fucking long draw episode, and everybody else does a regular draw and records their footage and everything. And hers opens on a Blender screen, and all of them scream because Julia taught herself Blender to do a background.
Oh my god!
Because that's what Kyoto Animation does for Violet Evergarden.
Nice.
Wow.
This show is fucking gorgeous.
This show is really pretty.
It is.
It looks really like I didn't have any like style or art like problems with this like at all. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous piece of work.
Yeah.
The countryside isn't the most interesting, but that's not because of the art. That is because of the countryside they're attempting to illustrate.
Yeah.
Because that's just what that part of Europe looks like.
Yeah, it's just kind of a plainish.
The green rolling hills.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say the art is not actually what I'm interested in here, because it is the animation and direction of this.
Mm-hmm.
Make it the saddest anime I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Because all three of these three main characters are all people concealing the most pain I have ever seen depicted in an anime.
Yeah.
Especially poor Lieutenant Colonel Hodgkins, who is trying desperately not to address the fact that her commanding officer and father figure and possibly boyfriend figure is just fucking dead.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to tell her.
But also you get this like latent, like he feels like guilt over, because he was in this military thing the whole time, watching this child be like nothing but a weapon, and he's like, I watched you do this, and I didn't do anything, and now I have to make amends.
Yeah, he feels terrible shame, and also he is like, he's the guy who has to show up at the fucking parents' doorstep with the folded American flag.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like he has to put his hands in his pockets because they're fucking trembling.
He literally had a line in there that I really liked. He said, "You're on fire." And she's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, you have trauma, babe.
And it's even worse because she knows that he is dead, but refuses to acknowledge it.
Yeah, there's no way that she doesn't like realize, right?
Yeah, we call that being traumatized.
Yeah, it's like extreme.
None of these people can even begin to address the source of their pain.
So yeah, the horrors of war, y'all.
Yeah, and I was going to say, my point about it is there is a very slight action scene, but it still applies, which is this is a anime about war that contains no cool action scenes whatsoever. It is all the aftermath and pain.
Yes. You see this one brief, like, I don't know, maybe like 30-second clip of her running through the battlefield, like, and it's scary. It's not framed as cool. It's framed as horrible.
It's not fun. She is forced to perpetrate like 2 or 3 acts of murder.
She's
to
just
survive.
running through this field and like stabbing people with bayonets and shit, and it's like awful.
So yeah, it's a rare thing in anime.
Yeah, it was really good, and
like the gravity of this violence.
Yes,
the gravity of this violence.
This is a show that I'm like, spoilers. I'm right away gonna say I have to watch all of this.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's the question, and I'm gonna watch the rest of it. A, because it's on Netflix, and I just have Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
It will be very easy to do so. And B, I have to see if any of these people can be salvaged.
Yeah, I feel like this show, the way it's set up feels hopeful. Like, it feels like this is a show about, like, yes, this first episode leans into all of the, like, the horrors and the trauma, but also, like, it gives you hope for recovery, right? Like,
I'm all about a plot line about how you have to learn to live.
Yeah. I like it.
I still haven't seen When the Wind Rises, but because it fucks me up every time I hear her say you have to live.
Yep.
But
that one that seems like it would. I don't know much about it, but it seems like it probably has a similar energy to this.
No, that's gonna be a fucking weird one, because do you know what that's actually about? It's about the Japanese fucking aviation designer who created the Zero, i.e. the plane that they flew into the ships at Pearl Harbor and shit. And it's about your creations being used to do uncalculable violence among people.
Wow.
So yeah, this has been a fun episode. One episode rule, a comedy podcast about anime.
And first impressions.
I think I need to talk to my therapist.
Yeah.
The show is your therapist now.
Oh.
So anyone got any hilarious jokes about this anime?
I think we're gonna have to use yours for the episode title, because and not just because it's the only joke. It is still pretty good.
Well, Violet also kind of looks like the main character from
Edward
Fate.
Elric.
The Fate
shows.
shows.
Fate. Okay, I get you.
But also Edward.
Yeah, she looks a little bit like Edward. Edward's a little more like saturated overall.
Well, yeah. Also, he's not that, like, he doesn't have the seriousness, right? Like, he's a gremlin.
Which is weird when you think about it, because he's basically a child soldier.
Edward transitioned.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's the plot
too.
of the story.
Edward was traumatized before he got into the military, so the war wasn't able to hurt him.
Did anyone else also think that Major Gilbert kind of also looked like Roy Mustang?
He looks a little bit like Roy Mustang. But then again, Roy Mustang looks like every dude with black hair. So
yeah, that's
and
true.
Black eyes.
Fair enough.
He's not an extremely distinctive character. For him,
it's
all attitude.
This was more for jokes than anything.
But yeah, if listeners, if you have any just cracking one-liners about the horror of war and the long process of recovery, then you can tell us those at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one word, not the number. Also, hey, if you want to tweet us your war trauma stories, maybe don't. Maybe maybe a therapist would be a better idea. But hey, we have a Twitter at One Episode Cast.
I'll write a letter for you.
Yeah, we'll write letters.
Well, I can write a letter for you.
Listen,
just be aware of what you're getting. It's free and it's from me.
Letters of recommendation.
I'm just bummed out now.
He's just bummed out now. I got fucked up about this. I was just like, am I going to be able to be funny? This is very emotional. I'm not mad at it, but I am fucked up by it.
I feel like I'm in again like good spirits because I feel like this is a hopeful show. So I'm not really fucked up. I feel like there's going to be more like flashback stuff or more like scenes in this that will make will destroy me.
What if it just
more
gets
than
worse?
that has already done?
What if it just gets worse over time? What if every episode is an Alan Alda, it wasn't a chicken, it was a baby moment?
Oh God! Oh no!
Nobody's seen all of Violet Evergarden and lived.
I'm not mentally prepared. I'm not equipped for this. We gotta get out of here.